Hi there, welcome to this tutorial. The topic is compound interest. So we take our first problem, calculate the compound interest on 150,000 naira for 3 years at 6% per annum. So in compound interest, the interest is calculated annually and added to the principal to be used in the further calculation the subsequent year. So we start the solution of the problem, and here we'll look at the first year. The principal in the first year is 150,000 naira. The rate will still be 6%, and the time will be 1 year, since we are just calculating for that particular year. So the interest now in the first year will be the principal times time times rate over 100, which is going to give us 150,000 times 1 times 6 over 100. And 2 zeros here cancel these 2 zeros. So we have 1,500 multiplied by 6. So 15 times 6 gives 90. If you add these 2 zeros to 90, we have 9,000. So the interest in the first year is 9,000 naira. We go to the second year. The principal at this point is 150,000 plus the interest in the first year, which is 9,000 naira. Then that's going to give us 150 plus 9, 159,000 naira. Then we now calculate the interest in the second year, which is still going to be this new principal multiplied by time, and that time is still 1 year, and multiply by the rate, then divide by 100. So that will give us 159,000 times 1 times 6 divide by 100. So 2 zeros cancel 2 zeros here. I'm left with 1,590. So 1,590 times 6. We keep the 0. Then 6 times 9 is 54. Then we write 4, carry 5. 6 times 5 gives 30 plus 5, 35. We write 5, carry 3. 6 times 1 gives 6 plus 3. We carry 9. So that will give us 9,540 naira, representing the interest in the second year. So we go to the third year, since we are calculating it for 3 years. So we go for the third year. So the principal in the third year is 159,000 plus the interest in the second year. Here we have 159 plus 9. Since the 1,000 here is 00, so 159 plus 9 will give us 168. So 168,540. So our principal in the third year will be 168,540. Then we calculate the interest in the third year. The interest in the third year is this principal multiplied by time, which is 1, multiplied by rate, which is still 6%. So we have it as 168,540 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 6, then divide by 100. So that will give us 1 0, cancel this 0 here. I don't want to go with 2 here, this 2 here, that. So what I do is to multiply the numerators, then I place it as 1 decimal place. So what I'm left here with is 16,854 times 6. So 16,854 multiply by 6. 6 times 4 is 24. We write 4 carry 2. 6 times 5 is 30 plus 2, 32. We write 2 carry 3. 6 times 8 is 48 plus 3, 51. You write 1 carry 5. And 6 times 6 is 36 plus 5. That will give us 41. You write 1 carry 4. 6 times 1 gives 6 plus the 4 we have carried 10. So I have it as 101,124. So we said we have a 10 here, so we place a decimal point between 2 and 4. So that at that point we now have 10,112 naira 40 kobo. So that we now have our interest in the third year to be 10,112 naira 40 kobo. That is the interest in the third year. So our compound interest now will be interest in the first year plus interest in the second year plus interest in the third year. So we are going to have it as 9,000 plus 9,540 plus 10,112 naira 40 kobo. So we add this. We can do the addition here. I start with the largest number. That's 10,112 naira 40 kobo. And this one can be written as 0.00. So 9,540.00 plus 9,000 naira. So here is 0. This is 4. 200. This is points. I have 2 here. 1 and 4. That's 5. 1 and 5. That will give us 6. 9 and 9, that's 9 plus 9, 18. You write 8 carry 1, add the 1 to this one gives 2. So we have our compound interest to be 28,652 naira 40 kobo. So we have it here, and we have done justice to problem number 1. We go to problem 2. In problem 2, calculate the compound interest on 100,000 naira for 1.5 years at 5% per annum. Again, we start the solution of the problem. We look at the first year. The principal in the first year is 100,000, and the rate is 5%, and the time is 1. So our interest in the first year now will be principal times time times rate over 100. That's 100,000 times 1 times 5 over 100. So we have 2 zeros cancelling these 2 zeros. I'm left with 1,000 times 5, which will give us 5,000 naira. So 5,000 naira is the interest in the first year. So that is it. We go for the second year. The principal is going to be 100,000 plus 5,000. That's the principal in the first year plus the interest in the first year. So giving us 105,000 naira. And our interest in the second year, though it's not a complete year, so it's going to be a half year. So we look at it as 1 year, then we divide it by 2. So that's going to give us 105,000 multiplied by 1 times 5 divided by 100 divided by 2. Why is it divided by 2? Because it is half year. So if it is 1/4 year, you divide by 4, and so on. So now we 2 zeros cancel 2 zeros here. I'm left with 1,050 times 5 divided by 2. So I go here, 2 here, 1. 2 into 10 is 5. So 2 into 5 gives 2, remainder 1. Place the 1 here, making 10. 2 into 10 gives 5. I now have 525 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. I will write 5 carry 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2, that's 12. You write 2 carry 1. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 1, making 26. So our interest in the second year, which is half year, will be 2,625 naira. That gives the interest in the second year. So our compound interest now will be interest in the first year plus interest in the second year. That will give us 5,000 plus 2,625. Then 5,000 plus 2,000 is 7,000. Then we add this 625, giving us 7,625 naira, which is the compound interest on 100,000 naira for 1.5 years at 5% per annum. That is the end of the solution to problem 2. And again, we draw the curtain for this tutorial. I hope we enjoy the tutorial. Thanks for watching. Till we come your way, goodbye.